Okay, we are live. Okay, let's see. How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing very well. Okay, I am coming on here today to show you guys how to complete your 5 month scenarios. That's one of the things that you will need to know how to when you're trying to become a DOT specimen collector. Okay, guys. You would first of all take the training. That's the 3 hours course training. I have that training available on my website on demand, meaning that you can watch for as long as you are comfortable. It's 3 hours long, but you have access to the course 247, 24 hours and 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week on demand. You can watch, play, pause, replay, go back to it until you become master. All right. And this video is also going to help you to pass your mock successfully because I am going to be going over the details. All right. Allow me to share this video on my platform so that people can know that I am live so they can join. I am live. Learn how to pass your mock. All right. Share. All right, guys. So when someone comes to you, the first thing they will say is, "Oh, I'm here for drug testing." They probably have an authorization form if they are being referred by a TPA. So if a TPA sends you clients, they are coming in with their authorization form. Or if this is your personal client, you probably know about it because they called you or scheduled on your website. You kind of like already have a preliminary idea and of course know that these people are coming. Or if it's a contract that you got directly with a with a company, right? For example, you went to Walmart, you reached out to Walmart, you marketed, and they signed a contract with you, and they want you to continue to do 5 panel drug tests for your employees on their employees. You already know that you're going to get paid from Walmart is going to pay you. But if a TPA is sending you this client, that means that the TPA is going to pay you your collection fee, which sometimes could be 10, maximum is $20, and that's if you truly have a TPA. But the major TPAs, which is eScreen and FunFox, only reimburses back $11, $10 to $11. That's the max. If you're in tier 1 for FunFox, you get $11. If you are in tier 2 FunFox, you get what? You're gonna get the $13 for tier 2. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to make sure people know that I'm here. So your customer will come to you. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Hey, good morning. My name is Rashid. I am here for drug testing. Hey, hi, Rashid. How are you? This is Coach Eli. I am going to be your specimen collector today. May I please have your authorization form? That is, if the TPA is sending you these people directly, you're going to go ahead and ask for authorization form. All right, thank you. All right, so make sure you look through the authorization form. What you're looking for is 3 things. You want to make sure that it's the person, where they are coming from, and what type of drug test they need. So for the purposes of this training, this is a DOT, so they are here for a 5 panel drug test and as well as trucking company. And so you know all that great stuff. Okay, so Mr. Rashid, can I please see your ID? Go ahead and get Mr. Rashid's ID. Once you check Mr. Rashid ID, make sure you also make sure it matches is the same person. All right, Mr. Rashid, thank you so much. Can you please put everything in this lockbox? You want to make sure you secure his or her belongings. In this case, he is a guy, so you're going to get his belongings. Ask him to put it in a lockbox. All right, once he puts that in the lockbox, you're then going to say, please select a cup. So these are the options. Do not break the cup seal. These cups right here comes from the lab. These are your supplies. Make sure you have a place that you put your cups and everything, and you ask your client to select a cup. Once you select a cup, ask him to break the seal. Do not, I repeat, break the seal. Allow your customer, allow your donor, allow the employee. These are interchangeable words. It could be the employee, it could be, we could say they're a client, or we could say the donor. So allow him to break the seal. Once he breaks the seal, then you give him the instruction. Mr. Rashid, please give me up to 45 milliliters. You say 45. I say show him 45. So go ahead. You need to have a marker. Ask him and you point 45 out so that he can know. Before you move forward, make sure you ask him, is he ready? Because if he's not ready, if he's not showing signs that it needs to be, he's probably gonna put you in a shy bladder mode. And if he's in a shy bladder mode, if he has a shy bladder, you have to give him 3 hours. When I teach my students, I always make sure I say, avoid shy bladder. Avoid shy bladder because you have to give them 3 hours. That means you're going to waste 3 hours of your hours. I don't want anyone sitting around for 3 hours because I have other things to do. I have other customers to take care of. So I always make sure they have that urgency and the need to go. So in this case, Mr. Rashid is ready to go. So I'm going to say, okay, all right. So now, before he goes, I'm going to go in my bathroom because we also need to prep the bathroom. So if your bathroom is, if you are in a shared bathroom space, always use your blowing tablet. Your blowing tablet is necessary. Blowing tablet is like this. Make sure this is my vitamin, but this, in this case, this is the blowing tablet. So we're gonna get in and put one in the toilet bowl to secure the bathroom. So I put that in the toilet bowl and I say, let's go wash our hands. You may also skip that part because at that time we assume that he has washed his hands and is ready. So let's go. So when he goes, he's going to the bathroom. All right. When he comes back, this is the urine. This is the urine. He's giving you 45. Everything is normal. So in this case, you want to make sure when they come back from the bathroom, you're looking for enough. What is enough? You have 45. Because if you don't have enough, by the time you send your specimen to the lab, you may have a fatal flaw. Fatal flaw. So you want to go ahead to make sure you have enough and also that the temperature is in range. What is in range? The temperature is within 90 to 100. If the temperature is not within a 90 to 100, that means this specimen is out of range. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. So for the purposes of this is uneventful. That means Mr. Rashid, your donor, came in with enough and temperature is good. So you're going to go ahead. You're going to get your 2 cups, which is your 2 vials. This is A, and this is B. All right. You're going to pour 30. You're going to go ahead and pour 30 of this 45 that you got. You pour gently in a bottle. That's the bottle A, vial A. You're going to go ahead and pour the remaining 15 in bottle B. All right. So that means you have both the A and the B. All right, so you have secured your specimen. So you're going to go ahead and place this carefully and you ask him to initial. Let him put his initial. All right, show him where, if you need to show him, he's putting an initial. Oh, sorry, before he put his initial, you have to affix the label. So there is a specimen label. I'm going to go ahead and take A, you put it on 30. A goes on 30. Put in the chat. A goes on 30. I'm going to go ahead, take the B. B goes on 15. So you have specimen A and B. Remember, in the beginning, you asked him to give you 45. 45. So you're going to pour 30 minus 30 plus 15 is 45. So pour 30 in A, pour the remaining 15 in B. Go ahead and seal. Take the A seal, put it on A, the 30. Take the B seal, go ahead and put it on 15. Very good. Then you're going to respectfully ask Rashid, which is your donor, to initial RB. That's its initial. Go ahead, RB. Then you, as the collector, you're going to go ahead and put today's date. For the purposes of this training, February 8th, 2025. Put those on the initial on your two vial. Once you're done, that means you've secured the specimen. I'm going to go ahead and turn to page 2. I'm going to also, in this video, so don't go anywhere, I'm going to show you exactly how to fill the form. I'm going to be sharing my screen, showing you how to complete the chain of custody, which is the federal chain of custody from step A to the bottom, all of that. So don't go anywhere. This is a free training. All you just have to do is come to me. If you have not qualified, if you're not yet certified, take the mock and you're on your way. This is actually the training right here. So you're getting free training and all that. So you're going to ask your donor to turn to page 2. The page 2 is always the MRO copy. We have 5 copies on the chain of custody. The federal chain of custody has 5 copies. The first copy is the lab copy. That's the copy that goes with the specimen, which I'm going to show you in a minute. The second copy is the MRO. This one here, you have to fax the copy to the MRO. So be very careful. I'm going to explain the MRO to you, how you can get your MRO in a minute. Also in this video, don't go anywhere. I'm feeling like it today. So I'm dropping all of this today. Don't go anywhere. Just stay right there. And I'm going to make sure this is interesting. Then the third copy, which is going to be the DER, which is the designated employer rep, they also need to get a copy. Should these people be coming from a TPA, that's how you get paid. So if you don't send this copy to the DER, they don't know you've done the test, you can't get paid. So make sure you send this to the DER. The fourth copy is for you. You also have to keep one for your record. Say you guys are busy every day, you guys see a lot of clients, you don't know at the end how many invoices you need to send. So you need to also keep record. And also say you send the invoice and maybe 2-3 months later, you haven't gotten paid because you have a ledger, you would know how you track your income, and you haven't gotten paid. You also can go back to your chain of custody, to these forms, which is your copy. I always say, whenever you get paid, just go ahead and stamp. You can get a dollar stamp on Amazon, on Temu, on Shein. Get you a stamp and always stamp paid for the invoice, for the chain of custody that are being paid. So that way you know you can keep track. That's another way to keep track if you ask me. And the final copy is the donor's copy. You give them at the end of the test. All right. So you're gonna say, Mr. Rashid, please go ahead and sign. On that page, which is the MRO page, step 5 is where they're going to sign. Like I said, I'm going to show you how to do all these things, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to show you exactly, but this is still the demonstration with the hands-on part. I'm going to show you how to fill the form, and you should be on your way to success. And you should be able to avoid any fatal flaw, because there are fatal flaws. Last week, 3 guys came to me, 3 students. They got a fatal flaw they had to retake, depending on the flaw that you have. So this is a flaw if they forgot to sign, all right? So in this case, it's uneventful. You have nothing to record. You're just gonna go ahead and ask them to sign. Once they sign, you take the same form, you flip it back to page 1, which is the lab copy, the copy that is going to the lab with the specimen together. All right, so you, as the collector, you go to step 4. The reason why the donor goes to step 2 on the page 2 is because the law is that the lab does not need to know the name of the person because of EPA and because of prejudice. Some people are going to be like, I failed the test because they know it's me. In this case, the lab don't know who you are. they don't know you, so they give the results as it should, and the results are always released back to the MRO. So that's the process. Some of you don't know that the lab process or the lab result don't come to you directly. It goes to the medical review officer because some people are on medication, on prescriptive drugs like opioid for pain. Some people are on diabetic pain medications. Some people are on anxiety medications. These are psychotropic medications, and they can be they can report as a drugs. But if it's prescriptive, the doctor can sign off and clear you for work. So we need to know all these things based on compliance and regulations. So the lab always releases this report to the MRO. Then you get the report from the MRO. That's why we always say fax the page to MRO, copy to the MRO, because even if the lab result is ready, 9 out of 10 times the next day your result is ready, but it does take some 2 extra days because the MRO needs to release it back to you. Make sure that everything is clear. That's why I always say you can be an MRO assistant. I have that training on my website as well, because MROs are looking for assistants. Assistant is actually the one that does that. It's like a medical assistant. Doctor, right? Doctor can't work alone in their office. They also need a medical assistant to help them with all of the paperwork, administrative work. It's the same thing. A MRO also needs an assistant. So that's where the medical MRO assistant, MROA, there is an A behind the MRO. They help them with administrative. I've given you all this knowledge. You can take that training to see if you can also become an MROA and work with an MRO to help them with their processes. There is money to be made. It just depends on the type of information and the person giving you all of this information. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up this test, and you as the collector, you're gonna go ahead and sign on step 4, and you also let us know whom you are releasing the bottles to. Are you going through FedEx? Are you going through UPS? Is somebody coming to pick it up? We need to know to keep track. So if your lab is using FedEx, you say FedEx. So we are almost done. You're gonna go ahead and bag up these 2 guys right here. You put them carefully. It's sealed up. It's signed. It's dated. Put them in the bag, right? And you take this page, the first one, carefully. You're gonna go this way. Take this out, and once you reap that, that's exactly how that goes. You're gonna reap it and you fold. I'm showing you this because this step is also important. Make sure when you are folding your paper, the barcode is facing out. The barcode is facing out of your bag. So let's say this is the bag. You put it right here. It's a clear bag, so you put it like that in the bag, and the barcode is facing with the specimen in, and you're ready to go. By the time this bag gets to the lab can scan your barcode and let us know that it's in for testing. That's how they also keep you in track, because sometimes you're looking for your specimen, you're needing the results. Your patient, things happens in transportation when it's in transit to lab. Things be happening. So you want to make sure you're doing all these things correctly, even for your own business day-to-day operation. So when that's done, you also make sure you give the donor his or a copy, right? Give it to him. Keep your own copy, and don't forget to fax the DER copy and the MRO copy to them. This is an uneventful collection. I'm going to show you how to do the temperature, how to ring, because these things are changing for each scenario. There is always how to do each scenario. So let's go to the second scenario. The second scenario is called the temperature out of. You're welcome to Mishka. Like I said, don't go anywhere because I'm going to show you how to fill out the form. That is actually where the problem lies the most. You can take P and split, but this form, a lot of people have fatal flaw. The lab rejects their flaw. And not only rejection, your customers are angry, they're upset, they're gonna leave you a bad review on Google, and you have to pay again for the test because you have to retrain, because you do have to send a new certificate of training to the lab because of the fatal flaw. And anytime it occurs, you have to keep paying. So you don't really want to pay. You don't want to get there. So this is why I'm doing all of these things today to help you prevent this. So let's go to uneventful. It's the same concept. In this case, my donor is Mrs. Troop. So Mrs. Troop is a girl in this case. Okay? When she comes in, I ask her for an ID. You always want to ask for ID because you want to match that person, because Mrs. Troop might be bringing her sister in because she is high, she's on medication, or she's on drugs. You want to make sure you're testing the right person. So make sure you ask for ID. Once you've identified that she's the right person, you ask her to take everything out and put it in a lockbox. Always have a lockbox. Lockbox is $100 on Amazon. Go on my website or even on Facebook page. You can find these links. I have posted lockbox numerous times. I have posted the blowing tablet numerous times. So you have all of this free of charge to you, resources, information in the group. So I prefer a particular mailbox, lockbox, because it's a combination lockbox. I don't have to worry about keys. I don't have to worry. It's compact because sometimes we do mobile. I also use it for lead testing. I use my lockbox for so many things. So I just kind of like it. So I'm gonna ask Miss Troop in this case to put everything in the lockbox. You're very welcome. So once she put everything in the lockbox, I'm gonna ask her to select a cup. When she selects the cup, we're gonna go to the bathroom. Make sure you prep. If you are in a shared bathroom space, always make sure you are prepping. How do you prep your bathroom? By securing the water and putting the blue tablet, because the blue tablet makes that water turn blue. So if they are trying to cheat the test or put something, you can tell. Or if you have a private store bathroom, meaning that you are the only one in that bathroom is for your business, you're not sharing with your other people, and the bathroom is secured, meaning it is solely for drug testing, you just go ahead and check. You don't need bluing tablet in those cases. So, but least purposes of this training, I'm going to assume a lot of people are in shared space, because even me, I have a shared bathroom space. I don't have a private store bathroom when I do drug testing. So I always have my bluing tablet. So that's how I feel like it's even easier for you to start that way. Trust me. So once I secure the bathroom, that's the next step. Always secure the bathroom because you are trying to keep the integrity of this test. This test is a federal test, is regulated. You don't want to put people that are drunk or on drugs on the road. It's because of accident, people get killed and all that. We don't want those things. So it starts with you and I. The way that we do these things, it starts in our labs. So we have to make sure we're doing the right thing, guys. So I'm gonna ask her, once the bathroom is secure, ask her to select a cup. Always make sure they are selecting the cup. Don't give them the cup. So she has the cup, you're gonna ask her to break the seal. Once she breaks the seal, give her the same instruction. Mrs. Troop, I need you to give me 45. What is 45? Don't assume she knows. Go ahead and get your marker, highlighter, or something. Show them. Draw a line. This is where I want you to give me. And so she's going to go ahead and do the test. All right. She's back. You're going to check for three things all the time. Check for temperature. Number one, check for enough quantity. If it is not enough, you can't use it, because if you send it to the lab, it's a fatal flaw. If it is out of range, then it's not a good specimen. All right, you want to also check for particles and all of that. So the major thing you want to check for temperature, and you want to check for enough, because enough is what you need to send to the lab. That's what they need, 45. In this case, this is temperature out of range, meaning that this temperature is not within 90 to 100. In range is when it's 90 and 100. So in this case, this temperature is too cold. You can even feel it, even if you were not reading, because there is a tamper evident seal on the cups. So even if it's not reading, you can feel, because the temperature should be still warm. So in this case, this temperature is out of range. What do you do as the collector? How do you pass your mock if you're doing a temperature out of range? I'll show you in a minute. So you're gonna say, "Hi, Mrs. True. This temperature is out of range, but nothing to worry. I got you. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna process this immediately, but I'll give you a second chance." You have to be diplomatic. You don't want to get her upset. You don't want to tell her she's cheating. You don't want those drama. You don't want anyone to come for you. Politely, "I'll do this. I'll take care of it. We'll send it to the lab." But let's do another one. because you have to do one of two and two of two anyway. You still have to do this test and send it. So that's how you're going to let her know, oh, it's good. It's nothing. Don't make her feel nervous or anxious. Do it the way you're supposed to do it and tell her, I'm going to give you another chance. This time, I'm going to give you water. I'm going to give you enough time. I'm going to talk about that. So let's continue. So this time, even though the temperature is out of range, you still have to send it to the lab. Some people don't know that. They confuse it and think, oh, because it's not good, you got to throw it out. No, we still have to send it to the lab because the lab needs to know some people are on medication. Some people are truly sick. Their temperature are not always in range. The temperature is truly not in range. Although 9 out of 10 times people are coming to cheat the test, but we can't say to them because we are professional and you are not there. You didn't see. You're only going by protocol. You don't want to assume. So do what you're supposed to do. Move on because it's business. You need a good name. That's all. That is all that matters to you at this point. You are not there to catch a thief. You're not a detective. You're not a policeman. It's not your job. So stay within your lane. So we're gonna go ahead and do the split. All right. So this case again, remember you've checked for enough. Make sure it's enough. Unless this is not enough, then it's shy bladder. That's a different conversation. So for this one, we're gonna go ahead and pour 30 in A. All right. And the remaining 15, go ahead and pour in B. All right. Same thing. The only thing is just that you are documenting. I'm gonna show you how to document. All right. So you take the A seal, go ahead and put it on A. All right, very good. Then you take the B and you go ahead and put it in B. You're still remaining professional. You're still smiling to her, with her. Oh, Mrs. True, can you please go ahead and please initial here without upsetting her? Do the same thing. Allow her to sign. Allow her to put the initial. Once that's done, you as the collector, you put your date on both so you've secured this temperature out of range. What you're going to do differently for temperature out of range is very simple. You're going to go ahead and put in the remarks section temperature out of range 1 of 2 because you're giving her a second chance. She's going to do another test. So that's 2 tests in total. But this is the first one that she did, which was out of range. So you're going to go ahead and put that in your remarks section. Temperature out of range, 1 of the 2 tests that she's going to do. Once you document that, you're respectfully going to ask her to sign on step 5, page 2, the MRO copy, meaning that she's signing that she gave you this and it is also out of range. You won't let it look obvious like that, but that's the process. Now, you're not done. Before you start to pack your bag, remember you're doing 2 tests. So you're going to go ahead and get a new chain of custody. This is how you can understand this process. This is the most complicated part of mock. I say this every day. Even if for those of you that already have your certificate, you probably still have challenges doing this. Before you pack your bag, before you pack these 2 cups, the bags, the clear bags and all that, take a new chain of custody form. The number, the barcode number on the top of the new chain of custody form, put that number. You have your form, the one that you signed temperature out of range on. That number on the new chain of custody, this new chain of custody, that barcode number, put it in the remarks section. Where you wrote the temperature out of range, the barcode from the new chain of custody, take that number, put it together with your statement. Then you're good to go. All right, so this chain of custody, you're going to take the first copy, you take it out, make sure the barcode is facing out, you put it in the bag with your 2 specimens. This is 1 of 2. Temperature out of range. If you have any question, put in the chat. Now, that's 1 of 2. Remember, you have the remaining copies of your chain of custody. You have the MRO copy, you have the donor's copy, you have the DER copy, and you have your copy. Go ahead and give her, the collector, a copy, the donor a copy. You go ahead and save the rest. Now, by that time, You're gonna ask Miss Troop, Miss Troop, let's go in for your second test. Since Miss Troop is a female, I am gonna go in with Miss Troop. Let's say she's a female, and if I'm not a nurse, I am going to go ahead and get a male to observe a male. Unless you're a medical person, then you can observe both genders. If they are not the same gender and you are not a professional, somebody has to do the observation for you. So this training is the direct observation. Direct observation is three things you want to do. Make sure gender to gender, unless you are a professional in the medical field. Number two, you've given them time. Now they can go and do the test. In this case, you want to go back. You don't even need to prep the bathroom. You know why? Because you're physically going to go in the bathroom with it and make sure the urine is coming out of their body. It's the same gender, so you know how that process works. I know some of you may ask, oh, what if they are transgender? What if they are bi? What if they are asexual? We're going to talk about that after. All right, because I've seen a lot of questions. So stay right there. Don't go anywhere. I'm explaining the transgender, the bigender, and I'll give you some conditions depending on your bathroom status. A CNA does not qualify. However, when I train that, I feel like the DOT needs to update their guideline because the CNA in the nursing home can see both patients. A CNA sees, yeah, if it's just you, it's fine. Let me tell you, every direct observation are always scheduled. Let me tell you one thing. Miss Troop is waiting for her second test. Do you think she's gonna go in the bathroom with me? She knows that urine is dirty. She won't do it. She may refuse. So in those cases, we always have a lot of refusal. So they're gonna go back. You're gonna call the DR and they will schedule her for another day. So when they schedule, they always call for direct observation. So you would have planned ahead of time to know that they are coming. So then you have a gender for them. Let me tell you, that's how it works. For the purposes of this training, though, we're gonna pretend this is the second day, or well, I'm gonna show you how to do a direct observation. But 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't occur on the same day because they know they're dirty. That's why they cheated in the beginning anyway. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a medical condition, it's always a 1% chances. It's not always the case when we see them happen. So direct observation, you're then going to ask for gender to gender and all that. So when it's time for direct observation, all you just have to do just before you get in the bathroom so that you're not going to see nonsense, just ask them to turn around in 360 because sometimes some of them wear prosthetic devices. They try to cheat the test. Some of them is just trying to cheat something. So they will rather be honest with you before they mess up in the bathroom. I've seen that 2 times before. So, but for the purposes of this, now you're going to go with them because they are the same gender. If they are not, get the same person or it's scheduled out already, so you already have it prepared. So let's say it's the preparation day, you have everything, the same gender, we're going in the bathroom together. So when they go, once the pee comes back from their body, now you know this is good. What you want to do on your chain of custody is that you want to check observed. There is a section there. Don't miss that session. You want us to know this is an observation test, meaning that you went to the bathroom with them, meaning that this person already has a temperature out of range test. The lab needs to treat it differently because they need to report it back to the clearinghouse. So you want to make sure you're checking observe. So don't go anywhere. I will be sharing my screen, showing you how to fill out chain of custody form. So let's continue. So you check observed. And on the remarks section, you're going to put 2 of 2. Remember, this is the second of the second test or the first test that you did. So it's going to always have to be 2 of 2. And the chain of custody, the copies that you have from the TER, from your copy, just get that barcode number and put it together with your remarks. That means that you have cross-referenced. You have cross-referenced and that you have matched both tests together and you've helped us to identify this is for Miss True. Both tests, both are for Miss True. That's What we just did was temperature out of range and direct observation. If you understand or if you don't and have questions, let me know. I can answer you right now. So put in the chat. But we just did temperature out of range, 1 of 2, and the direct observation, 2 of 2, cross-referencing both specimen, both test. All right, that's it. Now let's quickly go into shy bladder. What is shy bladder? Shy bladder is when the patient is unable to give us enough specimen. What is enough? Enough is 45 per standard. 45 is what we need. A lot of times, patients comes in and have shy bladder. Get ready. If you don't know, no. It happens usual than you would imagine. They think they are ready. Some of them already forgot that they need to, they forgot and they peed before they came. So they don't have enough. They think, sometimes they think they can go. And when they go, they only have 20 or 40. We need 45. We don't need 6. We don't need 30. We don't need 35. We need 45. So they, when they go, they only give us tiny bit. That's shy bladder. Tiny bits, we got to keep dumping it out. In this case, shy bladder, you throw out. You don't keep because it's not enough. The reason why we kept temperature out of range is because it was enough. And that the lab also needs to know if it's a medical issue. So shy bladder, we got to keep throwing because you can't send in on enough specimen to the lab. So in this case, we're going to keep throwing out. While you're throwing it out, you have to give them 40 ounces of water. The lab the instruction is to give them 40. So when I teach my student, I always say, get those 10 ounces of small bottles of water. Get enough, put it in the refrigerator. You also need a refrigerator. Put it there. But this is the trick. When I train my students to avoid shy bladder, I always ask them all the time when anyone comes in, make sure they are ready to go. Because if they go and they are in shy bladder, you have to give them 3 hours. You must not take the 3 hours away. So let's pretend, or let's say you're using a computer, you're using an electronic chain of custody. You have to let us know when you start the test. So if this test is starting at 12:11, you have to give them to 3:11, 3 full hours, because otherwise they will ding you. You're gonna have a fatal flaw, and they might take your certificate from you because the law is that give them time. It was so severe when it happened to me because I had to go pick up my keys and I was by myself, like you, Miss D. And this lady came, she had a shy bladder, and I had to go. They called me back. They didn't see on the record that I gave her enough hour. And it is true. I didn't give her enough hour. But because this is a public platform, I won't tell you the rest of the story. But you do have to give them enough, all right, time and 40 ounces of water. So this case, Miss Ruby is waiting because we gave her water and she's waiting. At the end of 3 hours, even if they can't go, then you're good. But before 3 hours, you're going to keep trying. Give them the cup, ask them question if they are ready to go. They must not dilute their specimen. So you're not going to let them keep drinking. Water, you space the water out, in your 3 hour span. Space the water and space and continue to ask them. But after 3 hours, if there is no test, you still get paid because they came to you, you still gave the test. They were just unable to give you the specimen. There is still a test and a payment must still occur. You still must get your money. So note that even if they were unable to go, you'll still get paid. You still have to document and send to the DER, send to everybody that you need to send to so they can pay you. So for the purposes of this training, we're going to assume that at the third attempt, Miss Ruby was able to go. So I'm going to go ahead. If they have to leave before 3 hours, then it's undone. That means they refuse because they made the decision to leave because you already told them the implication. You already gave them the instruction that they need to wait for 3 hours. But if she decides to go for any reason, it's refusal. So you need to document and also call the DER. Let me let you guys know, DER also takes training. You as a collector, you take training, MRO takes training, everybody in DOT takes training. DER also have their training and certificate too, just so you know. So there is a protocol and standard they also need to follow if anyone refuses the test. there is a standard, but this training you don't know because you're not a DER. The training that you need to know is this one here. You can call the DER and let them know. That's what you need to do. It's a refusal on their part in document. So for the purposes of this one here, we're gonna say she came and she was able to do. So in this case, all you just want to do is let us know in the remark section what you are doing. So say in 1 hour at 12:20, you gave her 10 ounces of water. So you're gonna go ahead and put 10 ounces of water. And if she came back, let's say she gave us 2 milliliters of pee, put it there. Everything that happened at the hour, you put at 12, we gave her water, she came back, she gave us pee. At 10, so you keep documenting those things. There is also a shy bladder log that you can get online. I can put in the link later, but you can also get a shy bladder. All you need to do is Google search shy bladder and you get those things. But for this training, we're just gonna say she came, she gave us the thing. We will just go ahead and do the same concept, the same stroke. 30 in A, 15 in B. You're gonna go ahead and still put everything together, get it ready for submission, get it ready for lab. Barcode facing down, everything is up to par. Be very ready. You might be using 10 cups for shy bladder, so you need supplies. If you are running low on supplies, let the lab know. They will supplement, they will replenish your supplies. Always let your lab know about your supplies because sometimes shy bladder takes a lot of supplies. You might be using 3 cups on one patient because they keep trying, right? Anytime they try, they didn't go, you throw it away, you put this in your biohazard bag. So make sure you guys are putting all of this in a biohazard bag. A biohazard bag is a red bag. Biohazard. Make sure you have that. And you also have to, the moment you start to have a biohazard bag, you have to get a biohazard company to come and pick up your biohazards. All right, I hope that's making sense. But let me tell you, I have a cheap way to do mine. I don't have a biohazard company because I have to pay those additional extra, whatever monthly fees. So what I did is there is a doctor office next to me. So they always help me with my biohazard because they are a bigger company. So all of my needles, right, for blood draws, my cups, they take it. She happens to be a nice person. But say you don't have such an opportunity, you can also put all of your biohazard, especially your needles, you can take it to the hospital and they can discard it for you. That's possible. You can also drop off your blood specimen to hospitals. The moment you already have the insurance copy, and you've gotten your money, if you draw blood, you can drop it off to hospital if there is no Quest or LabCorp around. LabCorp will also take your specimen, but that's just by the way. So the final step is when someone or your employee, your donor, your client refuses to sign. When they come and say they're not signing, for example, in Miss Troop's case, she was upset because you probably caught her because she was doing a fine job. You knew she was cheating, and at the end, she refuses to sign. I'm glad to let you know refusal to sign is not a refusal to test because test means you have specimen. Remember, you was asking if they had to leave before 3 hours. In that case, you didn't have a specimen. That was why that was a refusal. But anytime you were able to secure a specimen, it's a test because that's what the lab is going to test. The lab is not testing no document; they're testing specimen. So in this case, even though Miss Ruby is upset, Miss Troop is upset, you still have the test with you. You have a specimen, so you can just let her know in the remark section, Miss Troop has refused to sign. Once you put it in the remark section,
I'm going downstairs.
all right, go downstairs. I'll be right with you guys. So the moment I'm coming, okay, go get yours for snack. I'll be right back. I'm almost done. So in the case where she refuses to sign, all you just have to do is put that in the remark section, and on the step 5 of MRO copy, you're just gonna print the name. You must not sign on behalf of your client. Don't do that. Don't sign. All you want to do is just print the name. So you're gonna print Troop Denmark here, Troop Joe, Troop Boro. Put your name and that's it, and you're ready to ship. So go ahead again, same concept. Put this lab copy in front of the copy. Give everybody their copy. Give her a copy and do all that. Let me know if you have any question. I'm gonna quickly dive into how to fill out a form since I promised that. And I have to go back to my mommy mode because my babies are now hungry. But let me see if I can go charge my computer. But let me know if you have questions. I want to show you guys how to fill out this chain of custody. It is very important to complete chain of custody, even though um you did everything. Fatal flaw also occurs. All right, this is not a good position, but another second. Fatal flaw also occurs when you didn't fill out your form correctly. And I will show you. And I'll show you one thing. There is also a cheat way to say this. Okay, let me pull this one. You won't need to see me anyway because you're going to be looking at my screen in a minute. So let me just go find chain of custody right here. Okay, it's this one here. Yep, let me show you. Awesome. I don't know if you guys know, but you can print a chain of custody online for practice, not because the lab gives you this document, but you can print if you need to practice more and often, it's on the free of charge. I can also put the link here. Also, but my students, you know that you can download an actual chain of custody form in my course. All right, good. Let me share my screen. And if you guys can see my screen, just let me know so that I can know that you are able to read the volume. Ray. I'm here. Can you guys see my screen now? Somebody put in the chat if you can see my screen so I can move on. Okay, good. Thank you. So how you fill out a chain of custody. Chain of custodies are always carbon copy. There are 5 of them, the same. The only difference is the lab copy. This lab copy, the page 1, is different from the other 4. As you can see, it says copy test facility. Only this one is changed because on this one here, there is no step 5. The step 5 on it is for the lab. As you can see, completed by test facility. This one here. But if you look, if you scroll through the other copies, step 5 is completed by donor. And that's because the lab does not need to know the donor's information, as I have said in this video. So, and like I said, is medical review copy officer. And the third one is for you, the collector, that you keep for yourself. The 5th copy is for the employer that you have to fax back so that you can get your money. And this is the one I recommend you always stamp paid if it's paid, especially if it's coming from the DR. I always recommend that all of your own clients, let them prepare on your website. Make sure you have a payments processor where they can pay directly on your website before. So that means your money is guaranteed. And the 5th copy is the copy for the donor or the client. Make sure they get their copy, as you can see right there. All right, so let's go into filling out this one. Oh, I see copies. I see questions. Yeah, I do. I have training for DOT specimen collector on my page, on my website. So when they come in, this portion here, step 1A and step 1B are automatically filled out from the lab. So you don't have anything to worry, especially if you have a lab account. And I recommend you get a lab account because if you don't have a lab account, how can you make money? How can you do these things? You need your own special copy. So this one here, employer name and address, already is going to be your business name and address. So you automatically have an account with the lab because in this case, you are the TPA. In this case, these are your clients. You are the one that is the employer. You're helping Walmart on Walmart's behalf. So this is for you. So your name automatically is printed on this section and your MRO information because the lab gives you the MRO depending on when you select this MRO when you're signing up with the lab. So these 2 portions are automatically pre-filled and this section here too, G and your fax number. So G is your address, fax, phone number, everything is automatically filled out. I don't know if you guys know or have something like this, but that's what happens when you have a lab account. So once this are already filled out. When you have the donor coming, you ask for their ID, correct? So you're gonna go ahead and put the donor's ID. Now, you can use that social security number. You can also use their employee ID. You can also use their CDL if they are a CDL driver, or their state or driver's license number. All those are acceptable. So go ahead and put it right here. Even if a patient comes in and they don't have an ID, you can verbally get an authorization from the DER, and that's still acceptable. All you just want to make sure to is get the employee ID number, and they put it right there. You also want to specify the authority. We have two authorities that are with the DOT. These are actually the authority we are waiting for right now when it comes to the oral DOT. Oral DOT has yet to be finalized. We are still waiting. But HHS and NRC are the authorities, and these two people also needs DOT drug test. Remember when I said I had a shy bladder and I had to go? This the donor in that case, she was from HHS, so it was actually a big deal then too for me. But if you're interested in the story, in the wrap up story, I can share with you guys on Facebook, but definitely not on YouTube. But you also want to, so in this case it could be their authority or agency. For the purposes of this training, 9 out of 10 times your customers are going to be DOT agency. So are they FMCSA, are they FAA, are they Federal Railroad? This one here is the Federal Railroad, which is the airport people. This FTA is the transit, right? This is the pipeline, the PHMSA. This is the on the Coast Guard, the USGA. This is the Federal Motor Carrier, the trucking companies, the towing companies, the FMCSA people. So I'm gonna say go ahead and check this off. The FMCSA. Not sure why, but then the reason for the test is it pre-employment. You want to know. That's why you always want to ask for authorization form, because in this authorization forms has all the information that you need for step one anyway, because they will tell you where they are from, and it's going to tell you the type of test they need. Is it random? Is it reasonable suspicion? Is it for post-accident? Is it for follow-up? A lot of people are following up on their failed test. Is it a return to duty? Return to duty is that they came back, they were positive. We reported them back to clearinghouse. They need to go through a SAP program, the SAP program. If they are returned to duty, so like I said, I always encourage you guys to also market your services to SAP programs. So if you have a lot of clients from SAP program, they are most likely going to be a return to duty, because then they are clear to go back to work because they've passed their SAP programs. Some are also follow up from their return to duty. We also notify them. So you want to market. For post accident, you want to be online. You want to always be on Google. Let us find you, because accidents are never going to be planned. These other ones are planned. We can schedule this one, but this one here, we don't know when an accident is going to happen. And the only time we know is when you are online. Like for now, someone can come and say, "Oh, Elizabeth, can you do a post accident?" Yes, because they find me on Google. You always want to put your business on Google for this. And this one here is going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you, it's going to get you a lot of money rather. You can charge them $500 and they are ready to pay, because it's an accident. Somebody needs to be at the accident scene. So this is when we make a lot of money. Reasonable suspicion, if somebody is smoking and smelling weed, we want to know. And this one here, I talked about this. I got this a lot from high school, from principal, from their moms, their parents, because now they are suspended because they smell weed in on high school students, and everybody in that classroom are going to be suspended. So this is reasonable. Even somebody or your coworker, if they are smelling weed, it's a reasonable suspicion, and they need to be tested right there. Random is for pulls, for those of them that have consortium. It's a lot of people that needs to be randomly pulled all the time. Yes, they have been tested yesterday, but they can be randomly pulled again, depending on the TPAs. They run this consortium. This is for trucking companies the most. They are just, you're going to be like, you have to stop what you're doing right now, go to this collection center and get this test done. It's a random pull. So all of this information you would find on an authorization form. So you want to always know. And if it's your contract, you would have already put this in your contract. And if it's pre-employment, you know that already. Others, sometimes I've had a contract where my security company, even though they are not DOT, but they like to do DOT testing. So we, in this case, you do other and you specify. You could say for hospital, for nursing students, for security company, whatever the situation is. So that's how you fill out this form. All right, guys. And the drugs to be tested is always for this test, for this training, this is a federal chain of custody. A federal test is always 5 panel, as unless this two here, this authority agency, sometimes you just want to test for cocaine and THC. For the purposes of this training, you're going to go ahead and do the five. The five is marijuana, cocaine, PCP, opioid, and amphetamines. Amphetamines are always used for anxiety. Opioid are always used for drug pain. I mean to say pain. So that's why doctor and MRO needs to know if these are prescription. And sometimes your clients will come to you and say, "Yeah, I'm on prescriptive medicine." You can make a copy of their prescription and send it to the lab, even if they don't have a copy of prescription. MRO knows their job. They do all these things. They have been trained. They know what to do. So that's how you go ahead and complete step one in its entirety. Very good. So yeah, I need you to continue to follow through, Tamika, since this is gonna help you with your mark. All right. So we did the step one. Step two, like I said, oral fluid is still in pipeline. They have not finalized oral for drug test. In this case, we still use urine. The moment they finalize, I think it's gonna be the same chain of custody because it's right there. But this training right here is still urine five drug test panel. You're gonna go ahead and check off urine. In this case, a drug test, a federal drug test is always a split test. It's not single. Split is when we do the 30 and 15, right? So you want to do split because that's what you did. And as you can see, it instructs you to read the temperature within 4 minutes. Like I said, after 4 minutes, if you don't read the temperature, it's gonna get to code or to something, and you don't want to miscalculate. So you always have to give your donor 4 minutes. That after 4 minutes, you have to cancel the test. So for the purposes of this training, you're gonna go ahead and say yes, it's in range because it was an uneventful. The moment you start to have temperature out of range or on observed test, then you want to come here. You want to say no for temperature out of range, then that's where the instruction comes in. Enter remarks. Enter remarks. But, and again, remember when I said check observe, this is when you do direct observation. And you also have to put in the direct observation all of the activities that happen, such as by 2 p.m., you gave them water, they gave you 2 milliliters of pee. That's the activities that you're going to put in the remark. And if it's a temperature out of range, like I said, or direct observation, you're going to put no because, again, you said the temperature was not in range. Then you put your one of two and two of two. Also, and if the temperature is good, if it's an uneventful, you just say yes. So if it's oral, you do this. But for the purposes of this, it's urine, we stay right here. And that's it. And this is your remark session. Very tiny. So make sure you learn how to write very tiny on this spot right here. And we're going to move to step four. All right. Before you do step four, I always say turn to page two. The page two is the MRO copy that I just showed you right here, sitting right here. That's how you know. But you also want to double check, make sure it's the MRO copy. And like I said, it's a carbon copy. Everything that you've been doing up onto step four is recorded. You're just gonna go ahead and read this little statement to the donor, then the initial. They have to put their signature actually here. They also have to print the name. In the situation where it's a refusal to sign, don't sign. All you have to do is print the name right here, and that's it. Don't get any other information. That's about what you can put. You already have the name because they gave you the ID in the beginning. But this one right here, don't sign. But if it's an uneventful, everything is good. They sign the date, they put their date of birth, they put the today's date, their phone number, email address, and all that. But let's say it's an uneventful, it's a temperature out of range, all that jazz, and they don't want to sign. You come here and you just put the name. So once that's done, you go back to your step one, MRO, your step one of the chain of custody, then you sign. Always let the donor sign before you sign. So you're gonna sign and you also print your name and you put the date and the time. So if you're testing at 12 p.m., make sure you circle p.m. If it's in the morning, you circle morning. And right across here, you wanted to let us know you are releasing the bottles to. Is it going through UPS? Is it going through FedEx? Because anything can happen. Once this specimen gets to the lab is also doing notifications and documentation, which I'm getting ready to show you. So if you are not giving us correct and precise information, these are all considered fatal flaw. So you let us know because if anything happens, we can also track back here. We can look at the delivery system. FedEx can go back in their system and say, oh yeah, um, Moshood is working at 1 p.m. He was the one that actually transported this. So what's going on? Let's interview him. Let's do something. Like I said, these are all legal tests and they take it very seriously. So it starts with you. And as you can see right here, it's always completed by the assessor and the lab. The lab also wants to know, is this rejected for test? Is this an invalid test? Was it adulterated? Was it positive? Everything that you did, lab also does their thingy here. So that's why I say it is always, if it's failed, they put the reason. If the lab signs, the technician, the scientist, all of them also signs and put remark. If you dilute the specimen, they tell us that it's diluted. That's why I say don't give your donor too much water, because this session right here, the lab also documents right after you. So if you have any fatal flaw, that's when you get all of these things come back to you, and all of this paperwork are always being filed to the clearinghouse. So it's important because your name is there, your signature, your business name, your, it's a chain of custody, so we can track everything that you do. So that's why I always say, do the right thing so that you can be in the right place. All right, so that's how that goes. That's how you fill out this form, and you always already know it's a carbon copy. Everything that you do on page one goes through to the fifth copy. Everybody gets their copy. We talked about that already. Does anyone have any question? Because I'm getting ready to wrap up. It's an hour exactly. We've been here for an hour. We've done a very great job. But yeah, I recommend that you talk that you continue to use this as a refresher, even though you are certified. If you feel like you need to brush up on anything or you're not clear on anything, you can refer back to this video. But this is exactly a chain of custody, and I say go back and get your lab account. TPAs are good, but they are not going to be your main source of revenue or profit, because you can't really make too much money. The time that you make good money is when you market your services to the right people and they pay you close to $80 on one test, as compared to $10 that you're gonna get from the lab. And you accumulate those, right? That's how you can build and get other things through your door. All right, I'm glad to let you guys know that my new ebook, which is on lead testing, is out only for $20. You can get that ebook showing you exactly how I landed my what is it called, my statewide contract. Okay, I got my contract 2 years now. We're still on the project. It's interesting. We make a lot of money each day, so you can also learn how in that ebook. But like I said, I hope this video, let me see, I think I have a question here. You're very welcome. So I hope this video has been very helpful to you. I'll see you guys again. I feel like I don't want you guys to go. Let me see, am I missing on anything? I feel like that's it. Feel like that's it. That's it. So when I was saying place A and B together, this is what I mean. So A right here, this is the place that you put. So you take this guy A, you put it on the cap A. That's A is the one that have 30, the quantity 30 milliliters, and B is the one that has the 50 milliliters quantity. And always make sure you guys are not signing this thing. You're not signing or putting the date unless it's on the cap. You got to do it when you've placed this guy over the cap, because if you, sometimes I see a lot of people, they try to make it easier on them, because why did I say so? This thing, if it's not signed on the cap, the client can come back. You won't know until it happens to you, right? So a lot of times we don't know things until they happen. These things truly happen. It actually happened to me, because then I had this guy who was the one helping me with at the lab, and we had issues with our printer, but we fixed the printer. But you know what this donor did? He came back because his test was negative. Because sometimes they think they are clear, because they do this test on their own too. They go get the test and pay for the test, and okay, I think I'm good. Especially they do the rapid cups, but the lab has more effective way to do the lab test, and they also give breakdown, and there is a cutoff. So even though it's negative, there is a cutoff. So if the cutoff is not within the number that we are looking for, then it's still gonna fail the test, right? So the cutoff was, yeah, then it came back and said, "Oh, it was our lab's responsibility. We didn't print out, we didn't do this." It gave us a lot of excuses, and there was so many back and forth interviews or questionings and meetings because of this one particular issue. So issues are happening. Issues may happen, but like I said, we've been here for an hour. I have to let you guys go now. So I will see you guys on the other side. Make sure you go grab the ebook. It's very helpful. You're only spending $20 to get a whole wealth of knowledge, so you don't want to miss that. I'll see you guys again. Bye.